What's up, everyone? My name is David, and I like to make songs. And the song I made this week is a love song in the style of one of the most influential figures of the 20th century, the boy from Tupelo, Sun Records' own Elvis Aaron Presley. And listening to a bunch of Elvis in preparation for making this video was fun because, well, Elvis is the king. He's the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs can call him sire. But in listening to a lot of his early stuff and paying attention to the lyrics, the main thing that surprised me was vulnerability. Elvis, perhaps more than any other figure in popular culture, was a symbol of bravado, of swagger and sex appeal. So it may come as a shock when analyzing his lyrics how much vulnerability he allows himself to show. In songs like Don't Be Cruel and Love Me Tender, we see someone laying his heart on the line and flat out admitting that he would be hurt deeply if his love was not requited. I don't think you see as much of that today. As a matter of fact, let me just read some lyrics from a song that was popular last year. Now, if I f*** this model, and she just bleached her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt, I'm gonna feel like an asshole. Not exactly the most romantic of songs there, but Elvis's approach to love songs was a bit more heartfelt than that. Whereas songs of today are often about feeding bitches booze and Molly and getting them back to the hotel room, there was less objectification of women in the pop music of the mid-20th century. Love back then was a two-way street, regardless of how much bravado the singer had.
Antiquated notions of courtship.
And in making a song that Elvis very well could have sang back in the day, I wanted the lyrics to describe antiquated notions of courtship. That's why I have a line in there that says, "I want you to wear my pin." And I had to ask, is that even a thing that went on back then? But then I remembered. There's a song in Bye Bye Birdie about the girl getting pinned. And as long as getting pinned is a courtship ritual wherein a boy gives a girl his fraternity or club pin as a sign of affection, and getting pinned isn't a crude 50s slang for something that blows my whole theory out of the water, I think it's a pretty good lyric. And while we're talking about vulnerability, I'd just like to say that this song doesn't have any punchlines like last week's song. I need to get blackout drunk and go to the strip club. And writing a straight-ahead love song, even if it is in the style of an artist who's been dead for 40 years, is a little intimidating and leaves me feeling vulnerable. But hey, I may end up with bleach on my t-shirt, or I may not.
Nerdy music stuff.
There was a bit of a challenge getting modern equipment to sound as if it was from the late 1950s. I don't have any guitars or amps or microphones from that era, so I relied mostly on software tweaks. The first was a technique Sun Records employed to great effect on Elvis's early records, and that was putting slap delay or tape ducking delay on the recording. You have to remember that this was an era before algorithmic hardware reverb units existed, so this was as good as it got. And I used it on the vocals, so let's have a listen. The next technique I employed was an old Nashville technique called the tic-tac bass. It's where a baritone guitar plucks out the bass line while palm muting, and that track plays along with the actual bass line. It sounds like this. Now, I don't own a baritone guitar, so I just used a regular guitar, but it adds attack to the bass line. And it's a good lesson. Work with what you have, because you can't work with what you don't have, and it beats not working at all. And finally, the last technique I employed was a free plugin from my friends at Isotope. They're not really my friends. I don't know them at all. But they offer this plugin, and it's called Vinyl, and it makes your tracks automatically sound lo-fi. I use them on both the instrument and vocal bus, and I was impressed with how well it worked, considering it was free. And before I go, I'd just like to say that I'm not Mr. Elvis. I don't eat, sleep, and breathe all things the king. My house is not a 1/6 scale replica of Graceland. But I do think Elvis was a great entertainer, and I did my best to sound like him. So I hope I did him justice. And that is all. Except for the song, of course, so let's listen to it right now. Here we go!
And if I open my mouth, I'm gonna be right. No more games, little girl, no more fuss and fight. And when I open my mouth, what I say will be true. Well, I never wanted someone as much as I want you. The stars up in the heavens, they're just diamonds in the sky, but they don't shine as brightly as a light that's in your eyes. I want us to go steady. I want you to wear my pin. And when things get hot and heavy, Lord, what a state I'm in. And when I open my mouth, I'm gonna be right. No more games, pretty girl, don't wanna fuss and fight. And if I open my mouth, what I say will be true. I never wanted someone as much as I want you. I want you to love me sweetly, and all the people passing by will know that you're mine completely, and I'm such a happy guy. I want to be together from autumn until spring. And if this lasts forever, it will be such a perfect thing. And if I open my mouth, I'm gonna be right. No more games, pretty girl, don't wanna fuss and fight. And if I open my mouth, what I say will be true. I never wanted someone as much as I want you. I never wanted someone as much as I want you. I never wanted someone as much as I want you.
And I get bleach on my t-shirt, I'm gonna feel like an asshole. It's actually blank. There's nothing written on there.